Imagine a world where the centers of global power are, well, subtly but surely shifting. We're not talking about some dramatic earthquake, more like tectonic plates slowly rearranging. And one African city is really emerging as this quiet but mighty force on the global stage. Our deep dive today looks into Nairobi's rapid ascent as a critical global UN hub.
Absolutely. And our mission for you today really is to unpack the compelling reasons behind this pretty significant decentralization by the United Nations. We'll look at the current status of this ambitious move and then importantly discuss its far-reaching implications, for global development, for local economies, and yeah, maybe even for your own potential career path.
Okay, let's unpack this. We'll be digging into the specific UN agencies involved and just how historic this move actually is. It really positions Nairobi alongside, established UN powerhouses like New York and Geneva. Right, let's kick things off with the big picture. Why Nairobi, and I guess, why now? The core news, which came out February 2025, is that Kenya officially announced the UN intends to establish 3 brand new global headquarters in Nairobi, and that's by the end of 2026. We're talking about the global HQs for UNICEF, the Children's Fund, UNFPA, the Population Fund, and UN Women for Gender Equality and Empowerment. And these aren't just like new regional offices. They're set to join UNEP and UN-Habitat, the 2 global UN bodies already based there.
And what's really remarkable here, I think, is the historical significance. This move makes Nairobi only the 4th city globally to host multiple UN headquarters. Think about that. It puts Nairobi, squarely on par with major international centers like New York, Geneva, Vienna. That's quite a profound shift in the UN's global footprint.
It really is incredible. So, okay, beyond just putting cities on a, let's say, prestigious list, what's the strategic thinking here? What's actually driving this decentralization push by the UN right now?
Well, this expansion is really a direct outcome of the broader UN at 80 reform initiative. That's the UN's kind of strategic plan for its 80th anniversary in 2025.
Yeah.
It's aimed at modernizing, but also decentralizing its global operations.
Okay.
The goal is to move operations to regions that are, frankly, more cost-effective and crucially strategically located. And Nairobi, with its growing influence and its geographical position, it just fits perfectly into that vision. This isn't just about saving money, though. It's a strategic pivot. It's recognizing that global challenges are increasingly localized, right? So embedding these HQs in Nairobi means the UN can foster more agile, locally informed responses, ensuring solutions are not just global, but truly glocal in their impact, you could say.
Glocal. I like that. That's a powerful way to put it. So we understand the why now, but the practical side must be enormous. Here's where it gets really interesting. What about the infrastructure in Nairobi? Is it actually ready to support a shift this big?
Yeah, that's the key question, isn't it? On the infrastructure front, UN sources have confirmed that the office infrastructure in Gigiri, that's where the existing UN complex is. It is indeed already completed and prepared to host these new agencies. So the basic physical spaces seem to be largely there.
Okay, that's reassuring. But I also hear there's a pretty substantial investment happening, something like US $340 million, which is roughly 38.8 billion, a huge upgrade. What exactly does that involve? Are we talking brand new buildings or?
Some major expansion, yeah. That investment includes building a new 9,000-seat assembly hall, which is a really big deal. It's the first UN General Assembly size facility built outside New York since, 1949?
Wow, since 1949.
Yeah. Plus, construction of 30 new conference rooms, a new media center, visitor facilities, and better dining and exhibition buildings.
Yeah.
And just to clarify the timeline on those broader campus upgrades, the meeting room expansion is happening in phases, starting 2025 through to 2029. So it's a multi-year effort to fully modernize and expand everything.
Got it. So the buildings are mostly ready or underway. But what about the people, the human element? Even for a global organization like the UN, it sounds like some of these logistics are still, well, a bit of a moving target, literally.
Yeah.
Are there still some uncertainties around the staff relocation plans?
Well, there definitely are, yeah. While the physical spaces exist, the exact plans for moving staff, they're still being discussed. For instance, we heard that local staff at UNICEF hadn't yet received formal communication on exactly which departments would move or when. And at UNFPA, while up to 25% of their global staff are expected to relocate in 2025, detailed timelines still seem pretty fluid. It's just a very complex logistical puzzle,
Yeah.
coordinating thousands of moves across continents.
Fascinating. So still a lot of flux on the ground with the actual people moving.
This raises an important question. How do these practical logistical challenges connect to Nairobi's broader strategic positioning?
Yeah, that's a perfect segue. Because Nairobi isn't starting from zero here, right? It already has a pretty significant UN presence. Kenya hosts 86 UN offices in total, with a staggering 73 of them located right there in Gigiri.
Hmm.
And just to give you a sense of scale, the staff numbers have ballooned from maybe 300 when UNEP launched back in 1973 to support over 6,500 today, and they support around 11,000 dependents.
And that growth trajectory means Nairobi is actually officially the UN's fastest growing duty station globally.
Hmm.
It's already a city buzzing with international activity, and that growth clearly hasn't gone unnoticed by the UN leadership.
And this expansion is just going to accelerate that, surely. The new HQs are projected to bring in at least 800 more UN employees directly, but some estimates go way higher, up to maybe 20,000 people, including dependents, by 2026. What kind of economic impact are we actually talking about here?
Well, the UN already contributes an estimated US $350 million a year to Kenya's economy. And get this, that's roughly 4 times Kenya's foreign exchange earnings from coffee.
4 times coffee earnings. Wow.
Yeah, so you can imagine the multiplier effect when potentially thousands more people arrive. It's significant.
So we're talking about a major ripple effect across different sectors then. The influx of staff must be stimulating growth in, I don't know, real estate, hospitality, retail, transport, maybe even media within Nairobi.
Absolutely, all of those. But this isn't just about like pure economic growth. It's also about formalizing and accelerating Nairobi's emergence as East Africa's sort of de facto diplomatic capital. The multiplier effect will be huge, yes, but the real insight, I think, is how this strategic investment in a key African hub signals a new era for global governance, one where power centers are less monolithic, more distributed, demanding local integration alongside global coordination.
That makes sense.
And this growth isn't just happening in a vacuum. It builds on Kenya's existing strategic advantages. Its designation as a regional logistics and financial hub makes it really attractive. With over 550 Kenyan banks having regional branches, Nairobi is incredibly well positioned to host these kinds of international operations.
So, beyond the clear economic boost, how does this further cement Kenya's role on the global stage, diplomatically speaking? Does this give them a stronger voice?
Oh, profoundly. This development significantly strengthens Kenya's role in regional and global governance. It's a journey that really started when they joined the UN back in December 1963. And Kenya has ambitious aims here. They want to position Nairobi right up there with Geneva and New York. Eventually, they want the capacity to host full UN General Assembly sessions if needed. It's a clear statement of intent, about its place in global diplomacy and a strategic move to influence global policy from an African perspective.
So what does this all mean for you, the individual listener, whether you're a professional, maybe looking for opportunities, or just a local resident?
Well, for professionals, the outlook is genuinely very positive. This expansion is expected to generate thousands of job opportunities across operations, programming, admin, consultancy, various support services. The demand will be pretty substantial.
Okay, so if you're listening out there and maybe thinking about a career in global development, what are some specific fields that are likely to see, significant new demand?
We're talking about professionals in areas like gender equality, obviously, population health, children's rights, public policy, education, urban planning, climate action, humanitarian response, finance, governance. All those areas are where new opportunities are really going to be opening up.
And for people interested, are there resources already available to track these kinds of roles, or is it still a bit too early?
No, not too early. Platforms like Development Aid, for example, already list full-time roles in consultancies in Nairobi. And these are the kinds of jobs these newly opening agencies will be looking to fill. So yeah, definitely worth checking out if you're considering a move.
Now, on the flip side, what about potential impacts, including maybe some challenges for the local labor market and housing? I can imagine a big influx of relatively well-paid international staff might have some knock-on effects.
Yeah, you're absolutely right to raise that. It's important. Local labor markets, especially in areas like Gigiri, Runda, Kiambu Road, places already popular with expats, they might indeed see rising demand and rental pressure. And it's crucial to acknowledge that some local voices have pointed to potential downsides. Things like the possible displacement of mid-income residents because of these increased costs.
Right.
What's fascinating here is how these micro-level impacts, the local housing market stuff, how they directly tie into this macro-level shift in global governance. It creates both huge opportunity and, let's be honest, real-world challenges for local communities.
Okay, so to kind of wrap up our deep dive today, The UN's commitment to set up these HQs for UNICEF, UNFPA, and UN Women in Nairobi really marks a historic shift in the institution's global geography. This isn't just happening randomly. It clearly reflects that UN at 80 push for decentralization, strategically moving operations beyond those long-standing duty stations like New York and Geneva.
Exactly. And Kenya's existing infrastructure, its strong financial and logistics ecosystem, plus solid government support,
Hmm.
all that made Gigiri an incredibly strong candidate. It now boasts nearly 90 UN offices, which is amazing. But while the physical infrastructure is reportedly ready, we do have to acknowledge those uncertainties still remain, particularly around the precise timing and scale of staffing moves for some agencies. It makes for a complex, but definitely exciting transition period.
So, as you consider all this, maybe ponder what this growing decentralization might actually mean for the nature of global diplomacy itself. Does it become more inclusive, maybe more responsive when centers of power are more spread out across the globe? Or does it present new challenges for coordination between all these different hubs? It's a really fascinating thought, I think, to consider what this development means for how global organizations adapt to our changing world.